Bugs on Rugs is a card game for 2 to 5 players. You're collecting bugs off your floor and scoring points for them. Kids Table Board Games provided this copy in exchange for an honest review. Put the end card to the side and shuffle the bug deck. Depending on the number of players, you'll make a number of even piles. Place the end card above the one that'll go in the bottom. Deal a starting bug to each player, then flip the top card of the bug deck to start the wall. 2 bugs per player, plus 1, will be flipped face up in the middle. This is the floor, where the bugs are crawling. Starting with the first player, you'll choose a bug from the middle. Go around the table clockwise, then when the last player drafts a card, reverse order going back to player 1. There will be 1 card left. This goes on the wall. I'll explain the wall next, but before that, I'll talk about bug types. There are butterflies, fireflies, larvae, ants, spiders, flies, beetles, and ladybugs, each with a different scoring system and wall ability. There are also mosquitoes, which work in combinations. The abilities don't matter during drafting. The scoring system comes into play at the end, so you're going to want to select cards to give you the most points. For butterflies, they're worth 1 point for any bug you have on its own. 2 ants and flies, nothing. 1 ant and 2 flies, 1 point for the ant. Fireflies are 1 point for each different rug color. Larvae are the trickiest type, worthless on their own, but 3 points if you hatch or discard a mosquito. 2 larvae can also be hatched. Remove them from the game and select a bug from the wall. Ants are worth 5 points each if you have the most, 3 points each if you have the second most, otherwise you'll get 1 point each for them. Spiders are worthless, but score 7 points if you feed them a fly. Flies that aren't fed to spiders are worth 2 points each. Beetles score 2 points each if you have an odd number of them, and 5 points each for even numbers. Ladybugs are worth 1 point each, but if you have exactly 4 of them, the set is worth 25 points. Finally, mosquitoes only score as a pair. 2 of them become a wild for any other single bug. They don't have rugs at all. The undrafted card goes on the wall. You'll have to resolve its ability, which will make players do things like draw a card from the deck, pass a card to the right or left, or even swap out cards from their hands. Once the end card appears, finish the round as normal. Afterwards, do final scoring. There's a specific order to follow. Butterflies, fireflies, larvae, ants, spiders, flies, beetles, and ladybugs, which helps you maximize your combos. The player with the most points wins. Draft cards get lots of points by triggering combos and beat the other players. That's Bugs on Rugs. Bugs on Rugs can easily be played on weeknights. Even your learning games will be around 30 minutes at the most. It takes up very little space. If you can fit people around your coffee table, you can play Bugs on Rugs on it. The game's bug types, colors, and symbols. Numbers are kindergarten level, but an adult should help if the player is that young. I bet some 5 and 6-year-olds could play this without the larvae. Parents could help add up the final scores. The first time we played, I had a beetle with a beard. Mom and Dad didn't believe me and were like, yeah, whatever you say. I rubbed it in their faces in our second game when Beardo hit the table. No stuffing. In the one game, I had 4 ladybugs, meaning 25 points, until the final bug on the wall resolved. It was a ladybug, so I drew a card from the deck. It was a crummy ladybug. I went from 25 points to 5 points. A small box and play area, simple rules, and 20 to 30 minutes of gameplay makes this perfect to bring to anywhere, really. I prefer 3 players over 4 because of how much changes before it's your turn again. I'm starting to think that I don't like reversing drafts, honestly. This is something I didn't like about another game I reviewed recently, Try. Don't get me wrong though, I like the games with 4, I just like them more with 3. Set collection is one of my favorite game mechanisms. You're collecting bugs and or colors, trying to trigger combos. This is clever because you might want to take a card you don't need at that time just to help another card, or avoid its ability triggering on the wall. I I don't know what the retail score sheets will be like. I hope Kids Table Board Games offer downloads through their site. We'll probably laminate a sheet so we can use erasable markers. Kids Table Board Games reached out to us to ask if I'd be interested in reviewing Bugs on Rugs. We didn't know anything about it, so we went over to Board Game Geek. It sounded very light, but because one of my goals is to help families discover board games past family classics, I agreed. When we finished our first game, we were like, Mom asked what I thought, and I was like, it's actually really fun and good. There's a lot more to it than I first thought. Mom and Dad felt the same way. Great job, KTBG. Bugs on Rugs is right up there with one of my favorite light card drafters, Cat Lady, but can be played in half the time. Honestly, I think this is even better than the classic family drafting game, Sushi Go. Much better.